So before my awakening process to the information into who I am, I consider myself a very ambitious individual. I used to model, like urban modeling. I made it my business to get in the right places. Even if I didn't get picked, I was very ambitious about it. I used to always say I wanted to write a book. I've written a book. It's called Lift on Amazon if you want to support your girl, by Daylon Antoine. I've also, because of my modeling in urban industry, I've actually managed to get up to 100,000 followers on MySpace. And I didn't really quite learn the right thing to do and how to transition out of that. And instead of me saving or pretty much bringing all those people to the new platform like IG, I ended up deleting the MySpace page, costing me all those followers. At the time, I didn't understand the kind of business decision that I was making, but I do now. Fast forward a few years, I've managed to have another 100,000 followers in the fitness realm. I used to be 205 pounds and I lost over 60 pounds. I came down to 140. I've helped thousands of women worldwide with my company, Fitness Ladies at the time. And due to some, again, unforeseen events, which I wasn't prepared for, and I blame myself because I don't want to put blame on anybody or any experiences that I have, and learn from that experience. But I lost the business. I also lost all those followers as well. So now, with this kind of knowledge of how to transition, how to work with people, and how to do certain things, I'm still pretty ambitious because I feel like it's just in my blood. You know, I found out the history of my dad and how well versed he was in instruments and the arts, and as well as my mom. So of course, those two creative forces creating the Vesica Pisces that I came out of, it's bound that I would be talented or have as much ambition as they both were collectively. With that being said, I had the mentality of always trying to do something. I wanted to write a book, I wrote a book. I wanted to do fitness business, I did it. I wanted to lose weight, I did it. Whatever I set my mind to, I made sure to surround myself with the right people and to do it. And after gaining some information on the consciousness and, you know, how to really like bend your reality for your own benefit, or at least to benefit everyone else, and you still enjoy it, I found that there was a little bit of a disconnect when it came to digesting the information that I've read about. I was reading a lot of books, I was listening to a lot of audios, listening to a lot of videos, and I couldn't quite connect. How can you be in a conscious state and utilize the laws that I was learning, the laws of the universe and the laws of attraction, all that stuff, to actually implement them into my reality? Because let's face it, there's a lot of the people that I've watched that they were very well versed in the knowledge, but they didn't look quite successful. They didn't look quite satisfied with life. They didn't look quite healthy either. Some of them were very overweight. Some of them are homeless, but yet they are the most well-versed people that I've ever obtained any kind of information from. To me, it just never, I couldn't make sense of it. I don't know if anybody else. So being naturally ambitious, you know, I felt like at one point I just pretty much disconnected myself and had no more flooring, because I try to, learning this information, you learn a lot about yourself, and by doing so, when you accept reality for what it is and you don't try to like tie yourself down to any kind of like mental constructs or ideology that you know are limiting, you kind of are free to do what you want. But when you're operating in a realm that you've never operated before, you can say that you can lose your footing. And now with certain kind of conscious awareness that I'm understanding, it's not like I crave for, you know, these things that I used to have passion for, a condo, a house, to be able to travel, to do this. Those things are nice, but I think they're also a result to doing something that you're already meant to do, that's on your path. If you're on your path, those will probably be a result in what some people may call success. So frequently, I found myself going back and forth with trying to obtain enlightenment, which is something that you already have. Once you're awake, you're enlightened. There's not going to be enlightened, not going to be enlightened. Of course, you could always take the blue pill and be oblivious to your reality, but you're only hurting yourself because the truth will always poke out like horns, But I found myself maybe a few months ago, like trying to battle between maybe a past year and a half, actually, of my life, if we're being honest, trying to balance out between my desires, my physical desires, and my spiritual desires. And although I find it interesting that one set of lessons that I've learned to obtain one reality is the complete opposite and the other. So for example, when you're not conscious, or I should say before you awaken, you have this ambitious drive. You're like, I gotta work hard, I gotta grind, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta fake it till I make it, and all that stuff. But when you're in your full knowing of self, you know that it's all about alignment. You don't need to grind, you don't need to work hard. What's for you is for you, and it will come to you when you're ready, when you ask. So I rather live in that aspect of being, not having to stress myself out and drain my energy in a way, because everything is an energetic exchange, but in a way that it doesn't, I'm not going after things that are not satisfying when I obtain them. So I try to go after things that are satisfying when I obtain them, and I always have them, like happiness, constant joy, respect, love, things like that. Needless to say, this is the constant battle between light and dark within you that you have to really figure out. So what I'm finding is that I could probably have obtained certain type of ideology from my prior state of consciousness before I was awakened, but now utilize it in my awakened state, and that has benefited me in a lot of ways. I just posted this quote on life is a series of, damn it, I shouldn't even, let me try to remember. I'm gonna have to pause this. Let me see if I can remember. Life is a series of constantly letting go, and it keeps running in my mind over and over again. Because for me, once you realize that you're constantly evolving, the only way that you can obtain any type of goal is always letting go of what you thought you were or what you think you have. Either if it's physical, tangible things, or certain type of habits or mental constructs that are no longer serving you. And in a way, I'm competing that way in myself to try to evolve. Does it mean I don't want the things that I used to want before? Not necessarily. But it's not like a dire need, and it's not what I feel like it's what will equate to success or happiness or joy for me. Most of those things are non-tangible. So if you're like me, or if you were like me, going through odds with your mind between your right side and your dark side, what's right or what's wrong, your light versus dark, good or evil, God, angel, devil, whatever side, whatever things you want to, whatever resonates with you, just know that it's a constant evolution of your growth process. You should have those kind of balances between the two to help you gear yourself, to help you like maneuver your plane so you don't fall out of the sky. It can be a bit challenging, but it's only challenging if you're still holding on to the same mental construct of what you've had prior to your awakening state. Like I said, most of the things that are, one thing I've learned, let me just say this, one thing I've learned is that one way, for me anyway, the prior way to awakening is you constantly are working to become the vision of yourself. And the other way is you're constantly living and being the person that you desire to be or see. You already are that. And once you can really grasp that, I can't even talk. I think only then can you truly understand. That's when your mental construct really truly shifts. So you don't have to do that much work. You know, you could just be. That way you're always evolving. And that's why you're always letting go of things also. Not to say you're not connected to things anymore or to detach, but to understand that if you have them, you can enjoy them. And if they go, then you can let it go in peace and understand the experience that you had with it. Enjoy the experience that you had with it. Because you're only really here to experience things. You're not leaving with any of the stuff that you have or have gained besides your soul's evolution, any type of work that you've done on your soul. So that has helped me a lot when it comes to like, all right, what's my bottom line? Whenever I get tempted, whenever I think like, I wish you guys could see close, that building in the back has nothing. It's like 6 floors, but it's nothing but condos. And it was, as it was building, I was like, that's something like what I would want. That's exactly what I would want. Balcony all around the rim, but on the 24th floor. I want it to be equal to 6 because that's my life path, 6 and 33. But we're only here to evolve spiritually.